Racist doctor dismisses a black woman's pain, then her husband makes him regret it. She's just anxious, the doctor muttered, barely glancing at her chart. But Monica's lips were turning blue, her vision blurred, and her husband, he'd had enough. This wasn't nerves, it was a ticking time bomb. He begged. They ignored her until she collapsed in front of them all. And what happened next turned one quiet family into a national firestorm. This is the story of a black woman nearly silenced and the man who made sure her pain was heard. Welcome, story lovers. Where are you watching from? Drop your city name in the comments so we can see how far our story travels. Monica was the kind of woman who never asked for much. A mother of two, devoted wife, and nurse by profession, she spent her days caring for others at the very same hospital she once dreamed of leading. Life had its usual chaos, kids, bills, 12-hour shifts, but Monica managed it all with grace. Her husband, Darren, an Army vet turned community advocate, often joked that she could handle a hurricane with a smile. But when Monica started experiencing sharp pains in her chest and shortness of breath, she knew something was wrong. Darren rushed her to the ER, expecting urgency and compassion. Instead, they were met with a cold glare and a clipboard. The doctor barely looked up. "Probably anxiety," he muttered. "No tests, no concern, just dismissal." Monica's instincts screamed louder than her symptoms. Something was seriously wrong. But no one was listening. Not yet. And that silence would nearly cost her life. 3 hours passed. Monica sat slumped in a hard plastic chair, gasping quietly while her husband paced nearby, his hands balled into fists. Every few minutes, Darren would approach the nurse's desk, only to be told, "We're doing our best," with a tone that said otherwise. Meanwhile, patients who bore no resemblance to Monica were whisked in and out with swift efficiency. The doctor, a middle-aged white man with a clipboard and a smirk, finally returned. "You look fine. If you're still concerned, consider consulting a therapist for further guidance. Could be stress." Monica blinked. Darren stepped forward. "Run the tests," he demanded. But the doctor just shrugged and walked off. It wasn't until Monica collapsed in the waiting room, her body limp, eyes fluttering, that chaos erupted. Nurses rushed over, machines beeped. Suddenly, urgency existed. A CT scan later, the truth couldn't be denied. Monica had a pulmonary embolism, a life-threatening blood clot in her lungs. Minutes more, and she might not have made it. Darren's rage was volcanic. He filed a formal complaint and then made the story public. Their faces were soon on local news, then national. Messages poured in, others who'd been ignored, dismissed, endangered. Monica lived. But something else had awakened, a fight that wouldn't end in that hospital hallway. Darren wasn't going to let the doctor walk away. He had a plan, one that would ensure the world would never forget what almost happened. 6 weeks later, the hospital held a press conference, forced by public outcry, legal pressure, and the thousands of voices Darren had rallied. The doctor stood stiffly beside administrators, eyes hollow, face pale. A reporter asked, "Dr. Reynolds, do you admit your failure to treat Mrs. Fields was due to racial bias?" Silence. Then Darren stepped to the mic. Monica's story isn't rare. It's just recorded. He stared straight at the doctor. "You dismissed her pain. You almost buried her. But now, the world knows your name." Gasps, cameras flashed, and in that moment, power shifted. The same system that once ignored them was now forced to answer. Darren didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. Truth did the shouting. Dear audience, if you're enjoying the story, don't forget to give it a like. It helps. Monica recovered fully, but the scar ran deeper than her veins. Darren utilized his platform to launch an organization dedicated to promoting racial equity in the healthcare sector. Within months, they had over 50,000 supporters. The hospital issued new training protocols. The doctor? Suspended and under investigation. But the real victory wasn't in retribution. It was in revelation. Monica's story cracked open a truth that too many still endure. Black pain is often ignored. Her survival wasn't luck. It was Darren's fight, Monica's courage, and a community that refused to stay silent. How many more Monicas will it take before the system changes? Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel for more powerful stories and new videos.